the Madman. Exciting reveal for control and value levers because we got the priest package, the mage package, the warrior package, and all of those are tilted towards the control value side. So let's begin with priest. Love Everlasting. 3 mana, legendary spell. Your first spell each turn costs 2 less, lasts until you don't play a spell on your turn. And holy, a huge mana savings over a lot of turns. Now it comes with a catch. You probably don't play this on turn 3 because it is really hard to play spells every turn until you get your Svalna engine online. And you can even play this before you play Svalna because there are going to be a number of spells you can play. And then you just have like a certain timer until you have to find your Svalna, and then at which point, for 1 mana at the beginning of each turn, you're going to discover a card, and you know that keeps your control engine rolling. This reminds me a lot of mages. Maximize the maxitude, infinitude, something, the legendary spell. You are going to have an infinite engine machine, and I think priest in general has better control tools than mage. Though we're going to have to see as all the cards pan out. But we are going to see another really good priest control tool in Fight Over Me. 4 mana shadow spell. Choose 2 enemy minions. They fight! Add copies of any that die to your hand. That is a targeted hysteria in some way. Of course, only for 2 targets. But it comes at an even better benefit in that you generate 2 cards! This is a kill 2. Draw 2 type of card. That's incredible for 4 mana. I don't actually have much to say on that other than that's a really, really good control card. And Control Priest is going to love this. And then we got Shadow Chord Distort, 3 mana, give a minion -5/-5. If it has 0 attack, destroy it, and this is Shadow spell. Cool that they're introducing like really directly the idea of giving minions minus stats, and the health is like understood that if that drops it to 0 health, it destroys it. So you might look at it and be like, 3 mana to kill the card, nothing special. But even if you don't kill the card, it's going to be greatly nerfed in terms of attack, so it probably won't be that big a threat anymore. I think this is a okay control card, but probably doesn't make the cut compared to all the other control tools that priest has. But Love Everlasting and Fight Over Me, those are really big deals, I'd say. And I think this opens the play up to control priest being a really, really big contender in the next expansion. You really could play a slow card like Love Everlasting. Over in mage, we got Volume Up. Draw 3 spells, finale, discover a copy of one. So that's 4 mana, arcane spell, 4 to draw 4, equivalently, basically. That is awesome. And discovering a copy of one, like, that opens things up because, like, you actually would probably rather draw 3 spells and then discover an additional one of those 3 than you'd rather to draw 4, because one of those spells is probably, like, quite impactful and you'd love another copy of it. So, really good basic control option, value option. I think this obsoletes Arcane Intellect. The catch is you have to be playing a spell-heavy deck, which is probably what you're going to be doing if you're playing Mage. So let's take a look at some other spells and synergies. Rewind, 2 mana arcane spell, discover a copy of another spell you've cast this game. Light Show, 3 mana, shoot 2 beams at enemies that deal 2 damage, shoot 1 more for each Light Show you've cast this game. Arcane. Those 2 obviously go with each other. You're supposed to cast Light Show, then rewind to get more Light Shows. You're supposed to volume up to get more Light Show, and then your Light Shows will deal a lot of damage. So you got a mini Light Show package, though I think rewind is not very good unless you get exactly Light Show or like some really important spell that I haven't thought of yet. Light Show's baseline is okay, but also not very exciting, and it scales up, but I think it might take too much work, so perhaps the Rewind Light Show package, it could be interesting, but I don't feel it. Keyboard Soloist is the soloist minion here. Soloists want to be played alone onto the field. 4 mana 2/4 Naga Battlecry if you control no other minions. Summon 2 1/2 Amps with spell damage +1. Is worth mentioning that would make quite a strong light show. That is a lot of stats for one card. I could easily see this card with any number of cheap mage spells. Audio Splitter, 3 mana 4/3 mech, Death Rattle copy the highest cost spell in your hand. It's a 3 mana 4/3, which draws a very good value card. You know, I use the word draw very interchangeably with gain a card. For people who like the late game, Audio Splitter. Good stats, good effect, value. And now the moment you've been waiting for. What is Warrior getting? Well, we'll start off with Rockmaster Voon, the most anticipated musician to make another debut in Festival Legends. Looks just like its dragon counterpart. 4 mana, 4/3, Battlecry, copy a minion of each minion type in your hand. So used to copy dragons, which are kind of difficult to play a lot of because they're all mostly big. This sets Warrior as the class most likely to utilize the one amalgam band. Especially when you look at the other cards with this. You have Roaring Applause, 2 mana, draw a card, repeat for each minion type you control, and you've got Power Slider, 3 mana 1/2 rush, Battlecry, gain +1/+1 for each minion type you've played this game. Assuming that you've played 5 minion types, which I think is not too much of a stretch, Power Slider could be a 3 mana 6/7 with rush. Sweet. Roaring Applause, I'm assuming you're gonna try to get like 3 minions on the board. If you just have 1 minion with a type on the board, you're going to draw 2 cards, which is good. It's good. So like if you want a more average case of like you having 2 or 3 minions, it's 2 mana draw 3 or 2 mana draw 4. And Rockmaster Voon, like you're gonna be playing amalgam stuff. You're probably going to have like at least 3 minion types in your hand. 4 mana 4/3, gain 3 cards. I was gonna say draw, but I'm gonna start saying gain. That's not bad. When these Warrior cards first got revealed, and I got like the first like crowd check reaction, everyone was like, "Whoa, Warrior! Warrior once again doesn't have a coherent theme." But I think you gotta open your eyes a bit. This Power Slider thing, the Roaring Applause thing, and even Rockmaster Voon, like this is a good package. I think too many people are looking at just traditional Control Warrior. Yes, Control Priest is just going to be better than Control Warrior. There's going to be a number of classes like Blood Death Knight or maybe Control Mage or whatever that are going to outvalue the Control Warrior. Control Warrior probably doesn't exist, but what does exist is some sort of tempo, value, mid-rangey, amalgam warrior. This might mix and match with the Enrage Warrior that's been set up. Warrior also reveals 2 more cards. We got Drum Soloist, a 5 mana 5/5 dragon. Taunt Battlecry if you control no other minions, gain +2/+2 and rush. This, on the other hand, I don't think actually has a home anywhere. You know, 5 mana 7/7 taunt rush, even with a dragon tag, it's just whatever. A little too fair and a little too, you know, not good enough to actually see play anywhere else. And we got Razorfen Rockstar, 1 mana 1/3 Quillbore. After you gain armor, gain 2 more. I don't really see much usage for this one. It has a unique tribe tag of Quillbore. It's one of those generally decent cards, but I don't think this is generally good enough. Like, it's just not quite good enough to make the cut. So yes, I gotta admit, Drum Soloist and Razorfen Rockstar, they got interesting tribes, and that's kind of cool when you consider the fact that minion types are important. But I think you're going to be able to find better minion types to put into your deck.